Folks, hello and welcome to Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse. I am Eric Tenkar, your overnapping, oversleeping half your host. And the other half your host is the one that was awake. Thank God. Glen
Mhm.
Halstrom, Old Man Grognard.
Ha! Psych, gotcha.
Yes. Now, here, I'm going to start going. I'm going to start going through the comedians here.
Oh boy.
Uh, Entertain me random generated party dance like clown. Wrong show, Mike.
Whoa.
Wrong, wrong show.
This is what happens when we're late.
Yes,
They just mill around in the room there.
yes,
Hmm.
yes. That's it.
Somebody needs a haircut.
Yeah, that's fucking me. Uh, my head
So
is out of control.
so we were 12 minutes late. That means we got to work 12 minutes more to make up the time.
Oh man, is this like a
Isn't
fucking
that the
job?
way? Isn't that the way the jobs work? Me, I
No.
always make up for being late by leaving early.
Whoa. Let's see. Hassling the bar. And I didn't suffer from a crowd strike related outage. I happened to be a Mac guy, so I was immune to that.
I sell
Um,
sponges to barflies so they can hold their liquor.
bum.
That's an old
No, I
groucho.
don't have my WizardCon is next. Oh God, April. I
Is it
think.
now?
I think so.
I just showed this to Eric before the show. Here's a picture that I started at North Texas and I just finished the other day.
That is just fucking awesome, though.
I did that at the artists conclave they had there. And thank you.
Man, these people are effing chatty, Glenn.
Aren't
I
they?
still haven't caught. I
I
still
think we
haven't.
just I think we just sit there and we should just sit here and watch.
Yes, yeah. I happen to enjoy naps too. Um,
I'm going to go back. How long have we been doing this show?
I don't know, 3+ years. I think
Really?
something like that. Yeah.
I'm going to go back and look at some of the early ones because I don't remember all these wrinkles.
Wrinkles.
Yeah, I think I've managed to get some more.
Who's counting
Yeah.
wrinkles?
Well, that's all right. We're doing Thaco's Hammer Sunday, and Brian said we've been doing it over 10 years. And it's like, what?
Damn.
Yeah, crazy,
Well,
crazy, crazy.
we will touch on Watsy's new Fonzarelli president. I only say that for the wonderful picture that they use. Hey, the Fonz. Yeah.
I'm on Tylenol and muscle relaxers right now.
Oh.
I managed to take a fall Monday, and
Oh shit. What happened?
my neighbor. Well, I was going up front to my neighbor's house, his front door, and sidewalk up to his house is, Oklahoma's always got problem with their roads and their side. There were cracks in the sidewalk, and my foot found one, and I just face planted right on his stairs. So I hit on my chin and my chest. And man,
Oh,
my chin's fine, but my chest, oy, I had to go to the DR today. To
really?
Yeah, well, it wasn't getting. I didn't feel it was getting any better because I thought I just pulled a muscle or something,
Right.
bruised something. But it was getting to the point where I couldn't like lift my arm or anything. So I went to the ER to find out, well, is there anything broken or fractured in there?
Right.
Nope. But he says like, the nerves around my ribs, I hate them. So I've got like a lidocaine patch on. I'm taking Tylenol, and he gave me a muscle relaxer. So I guess I'm all right.
Wow, it's kind of like the few days before I went to North Texas. I dreamt that I was jumping off my front porch, and I actually jumped out of bed,
Oh Lord. I
landed
thought you were,
on my knee.
I
Oh,
was yeah, I thought you were going to say, I dreamt I was eating a giant marshmallow. When I woke up, my pillow was gone.
no, no. Although actually, Glenn, now, all right, folks. I had a dream about Glenn. Don't go there. Not that kind of a dream. Fuck you. All right. So last night I had a dream with Glenn, and I dreamt that Glenn
This is news to me.
somehow, yes, somehow appeared in a movie with Ernest Borgnine, and it
That is a good.
didn't make any sense because I'm like, but Glenn's not that old. How did that happen? And I was like, and I showed Glenn the picture. I go, Glenn, is this you with Ernest Borgnine? And Glenn's
Well,
like, my secret. I'm like, I'll keep your secret, damn it. All
I
right.
may not be that old, but Ernest Borgnine is that dead.
Yeah, maybe that's why I talked about Ernest Borgnine. I don't know, but you
That's all
happen to
right. I
give it.
like Ernest Borgnine,
Yeah, I don't know. I
which
don't
is
know,
funny.
man.
Funny. One of my favorite films, which I just got on 4K, is Marty.
Mm.
I've been a fan of him for a while. Also, when I was growing up, one of the, when you get in front of the TV at night, one of the ritual sitcoms you watch, and mine was McHale's Navy.
Oh shit. Okay.
You
Fun
know, I
stuff.
I always wanted to meet him. I was just going to walk up and say, "Hey, Skip."
Oh man, that. I didn't see Mikhail's Navy. Uh, I saw it in reruns. So if you
Mhm.
were seeing that stuff in reruns, you had
No,
to
I
be
wasn't.
you were
That's
seeing
the
it. You were
thing.
seeing it first time
I saw
around.
yes,
Um.
others too.
Well,
I mean,
what can I tell you?
Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie were a couple of favorites around in my house. I think because of my mother.
Okay. Oh,
And you did not get you did not get in the way of her and her Peyton place.
oh. See, my mother was the Waltons. You could not. First off, you had to watch the Waltons. You could not watch it, but you couldn't open up your mouth outside of the commercials. If you opened
Yeah,
up your mouth outside the commercials, you were in trouble.
we watched Disney too. Um, in fact, we almost missed the premiere of the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, but we did catch it. My dad cussing all the way, but it's okay.
But
With
your
him,
dad,
it's like the sports always took precedence over
uh,
everybody, except my mom laid the law down about Peyton Place. My stories are not to be fooled with.
your sports you can always read in the newspaper.
Yeah, but
I
him,
can't.
it's like I have great images of him lying on the floor on his stomach with a pillow and a beer, cussing out the Lakers, watching
See,
the
my
Lakers and the Dodgers.
uh, see, my father gave up on sports when the Dodgers moved over to California.
Oh yeah. Well,
So
we have their minor team here. Their what do they call
okay,
it? Yeah,
they're okay. They're
the
minor league.
minors. They're in the minors, and it's funny they were called. I have an old baseball cap I got, and it used to be the Oklahoma City Blackhawks,
Okay.
but they changed their name to the Dodgers when they switched majors. So
Ah,
I call them the Little Bums.
the bums. No, not the bums and the bears though. Like I used to watch I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched in bed with the sound off. If you get me drift.
Hmm.
I feel unclean just reading it out loud. I should
I
go
don't
back
know.
to my
I didn't really get into sitcoms until the Mary Tyler Moore era started, especially Bob Newhart, who just passed away recently.
That's right, the other day, yeah.
It was
Heyday.
weird because that day that he died, one of the things I was thinking about him in the morning. I kept thinking like all these people who were dying recently. I said, boy, good thing we saw Bob Newhart. And then I read that Bob Newhart died. Becky said I cursed him.
It's all your fault, Glenn.
I mean,
All your
I said,
fault.
Becky, he's 94. Okay. Last time I saw him on TV, he didn't look so good. Hello, Dave. I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
That's okay. Dave, see, I overslept for this show, and last night my drive from back from the Poconos took forever.
Oh, by the way,
Yes.
um, I'm sure you got this too, but just a moment. I'll be right back.
Oh, I know what he's gonna do. I know what he's gonna. He's gonna pull something out, and it's not a Rob Conley reach around either. By the way, folks, Rob won't let us call it a reach around. He figured out what it means.
No comment. Got this in the mail.
Oh, is it
Uh-huh.
pretty?
This is what your maps come in for the Kickstarter, guys. Real pretty. Even got, look at this on the end. You
Whoa!
got their logo on both ends. How
Oh,
about that?
that's damn cool.
Is this classy or what?
That's
I
classy.
love this thing. Almost
That
makes me
is
want to play Arduino. No, seriously. Um, Besides, they just I did a Facebook thing and they just messaged me and thanked me for all the push I've been giving them. And I said, well, I'm going to talk about them on the show. And I says, great. I understand they actually have a stretch goal now.
Oh yeah, he meant
More
George.
maps,
More maps is
or
more.
different, nicer versions of maps. I don't know. I didn't look too close, but I noticed. Oh, more maps. More maps is always good.
More maps is more better.
And I did. I totally forgot they were going to send this to us too. I said it looks so nice. I almost want to hang it up with the maps.
All right, so they're including if they when it hits if it hits 13,000 by the end of the campaign, in addition to your normal rewards, you will receive one extra Arduino 2024 country map, 39.5 by 30, one extra original Arduino county map, 34 by 22.5, and that is the 2000 version, and an extra Arduino map tube. Jeez.
An extra tube.
You get the extra tube. You get the above extra maps. An extra quarter inch country map, 2024 version, 17 by 22. You'll get the 3 extra maps in the custom tube. You will have doubles of all the maps between the reward and the stretch goal. Now you have one pristine set for framing, keeping, and the other one for use in games.
I still don't know where to hang these in here. It's like my gaming has gone to like nothing. And I kind of feel out of it. If you know what I mean? I'm kind of feel out of it with gaming. Because I don't, I got the Monday game, but that's online now.
Right.
Because I can't make it because of where I am. And, one car and all that kind of crap. And I haven't gone down to the tavern and see what's going on there. I have a feeling it's all 5e and magic, but
Right.
I'm willing to go down there to run stuff, other stuff. But I was just before North Texas, I got really depressed. It's like I'm running a gangbusters game 3 times. Every year I run a gangbusters game, but lately that's all I've been running once a year.
Uh,
It's like uh, I need more gaming. Oh well, I'll figure something out. Probably start going down to the game store and see what I can do. I
yeah,
always want I always want to go down there on the weekends because they really don't have anything going on the weekends. No magic tournaments, no D&D.
right.
To see what kind of and the problem is they're only open from 5 to 10 every day, and
Okay.
because they're open when people can come, which makes sense because they're mostly a place to play.
Right.
And I'm keep hoping they're going to you know, start getting more stuff in so it's more of a game store.
Right.
That way they'll stay open later. But I have a feeling the guy who runs it is probably his side hustle, side job. He probably has a regular job.
Right.
So maybe it's time for me to go down there and say, "Hey, you want me to watch plays? Hey,
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 hey!"
I got retail experience. I can do it.
I had some retail experience. I even ran a cash register for a while at
Ooh.
Fry's Electronics. Remember them?
Oh my God. I haven't.
I
Fraud.
spent I spent 6 months as a cashier at Fry's.
Did you get a good discount on fries?
Yeah, but I never used it.
No.
I was I was I was dead broke.
Oh.
Yeah, I was. It was my. It was a period of my life that I wasn't getting through very well. It was coming off of about a month or two of homelessness,
Okay.
and I finally got a place and a place to work, and so it was the getting on back on my feet part of my life, if you know what I mean.
No, I got you.
Yeah. Um, I had an apartment in Palo Alto. Should have kept that apartment. I should have stayed by myself. Why didn't I just why didn't I just stay by myself for a while? Anyway, that was after my second wife left me and all that kind of crap. And oh, we'll sit down at the con next year and I'll tell you all about it. Just put a few drinks in me and I'll just go.
There we go.
Yeah. Like I did last time. I talked to you guys, you and Raisha, you were so patient with me.
Oh, please, Glenn. Not at all.
Well, it's better
Not.
than trying, it's better than listening to like, you know, what's his name? Better listen to Picorni's music.
You know. Yeah.
Well,
I mean.
I mean, you know, is he giving you New Yorkers a bad name now or what?
Well, remember, he's now a West Coaster. He's no longer
He
a
is.
Brook. Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought he was
yeah.
still out in New York.
No,
Okay.
he hasn't been for a while. No, he done did move.
Hmm.
Oh, excuse me.
He did done move.
He
Oh, good
did
for
done
him.
move.
Good
So
for
yeah,
him.
he has moved himself and his company out to
Hmm.
the West Coast. I want to say Portland, but I am probably wrong.
Okay, we're talking up there.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that part, Seattle, Portland,
Mhm.
those places actually make California look good.
Oof. Yeah. You see now that I guess.
You know,
Well, they've got the homeless problem of people living in tents, right? Isn't
who
that?
doesn't? I mean, I lived in the Bay Area, saw a lot of that. My girlfriend at the time worked with them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So, mm.
Yeah. Well, she's having her own problems. Right. My ex is having her own problems right now. So let's sit down and talk about that sometime too. Anyway, let's see.
Well, anyway, for here, listen, we'll give you an opportunity to get some. I just put the link up on the bottom of the screen. Uh, Humble Bundle today has a new Humble Bundle.
What is it?
It is all about gaming. It's a book bundle from MIT Press. And the first two books that are part of this, there's a lot that, if you're into gaming like Atari and other stuff, they have all the history. But they also have the Game Wizards from John Peterson and the Elusive Shift from John Peterson as part of the bundles. So I just put the link there if you're interested
So
in.
what he took playing at the world and he's breaking it up into volumes.
No, not really. See, like, all right, so
Because I
uh,
just saw volume one on Facebook. Somebody had it.
yeah, no. So the Game Wizards is solely about the battle for Dungeons and Dragons. So I
Hmm.
guess that's what that is. And the Elusive Shift is how role playing games forge their identity. So it goes back further. So these are two of his history books. So we've like the book that you just mentioned is probably what he's most well known for.
Oh yeah, I got a copy somewhere.
But there's a bunch of, again, if you're much of what they're showing here is board games, computer games, video games, but it's all books about the history of games. And if you're into that kind of reading, it's a very good package. So, and if you happen to buy from anything, once you go to that link, anything you buy from Humble Bundle goes to support this very channel. We don't.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't take advertising money, except for whatever like YouTube puts up. But we don't take advertising money. We don't do sponsorships. But you get the pieces of
But
segregating
we're
voice with Glenn and
but
I.
we're always open to payola.
Oh, well,
At least I
that's
am.
uh, John. I hear the discourse, but where's the dungeons? Where's the dragons? I want to hear about this week in gaming. Stupid. Well, listen, we'll get there, man. We'll get there. We're working on it. They can't get it right.
Ha ha.
You can't always give the people what they want when they want it because they'll never want for more. Um, Stefan's in Seattle now. I was close. Portland, Seattle, it's all the same, kind of stuff, sort of ish. Um, Julia Duffy was Princess Ariel in Wizards and Warriors. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, there's a Pathfinder RuneQuest one too. That is true. I love the RuneQuest one. I already snagged it. I was gonna snag the Pathfinder one, but I realized I have much of that in print already as so the Wizard. So for me, it's a rehash, but that's another good deal. But the RuneQuest one is, if you haven't got it, the RuneQuest one you can start at $1 and get the starter set. So if you really want a feeling of what RuneQuest is and you want to do it for as little as possible, $1 gives you your first hit. And that's isn't that what it's all
First
about?
one's cheap.
Yeah, it's almost on us. It's not a free hit, but damn, it's close. Starts with that number and Fading Suns over on Bundle of Holding. Starts with that number is it's awesome. It's a great. At some point, I want to run it, but there's so much stuff that I want to run. So, uh,
I've got
well, okay.
Dark. I want to say Dark Star. No, the one that James did.
White Star.
White Star. Thank you. I've got White Star. Nobody ever mentions that anymore.
I guess because White Star is over a decade old. I believe James is working on a new edition of White
Uh,
Star.
Well, what's funny is he pulled out White Star and everybody loved it, and then he saw Stars Without Number, and he's saying, "Well, this is a better game."
I think White Star is an easier game to pick up. I think that
Okay.
Stars Without Number is a bit more crunchy, and it's also built to be a bit more sandboxy right out of the box.
I got his deluxe hoo-ha color one. It's pretty,
Purdy,
pretty. So,
purdy.
well, this weekend gaming stupid. Well, there's no Kickstarter stupid because mine closed. So,
Which Kickstarter was that?
hell of a town. It closed at some ridiculous number.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they were pledging. In fact, I'll pull it up right now. I'll tell you. They were pledging for $10,000. And let's see if I can pull it up here. Campaign. They got 139,000, about $139,000.
Them.
Yeah. They did over like 1,200%. And all the stretch goals got met. And
Damn.
they already took my money, so I'm happy.
Damn, that is awesome now.
And it ain't gonna deliver until April.
All right.
So hopefully it'll be on time so I can bring it to North Texas.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. I did, it was funny because I pledged it and I upped my pledge and I didn't even realize it was diceless. Isn't that weird?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's cards, playing cards.
Oh, okay. It's not diceless in the way of
Yeah,
like.
everybody has their own deck of regular playing cards. They do make the official deck, which I'm going to get a copy of, but everybody should have their own deck. But you can use regular playing cards. It's real easy. But anyway, yeah, they did really, really well. So God bless them. God bless you guys. I believe the Arduino one's still going on. The maps.
I believe it is. Hold on. Actually, here I got one that I should highlight. Not that it needs us to push it,
Mm-hmm.
but hold on. Caverns of
The race, yeah.
Okay, so folks, you're not going to find this one on Kickstarter. It's on BackerKit, but it's raised over $500,000. It's got 4 days left.
Yeah, another Goodman Games 5e rewrite.
Yeah, pretty much. So I guess you get the original. You'll get the
DCC version, the 5e version.
Yeah, so you get a little bit for everybody. So, I used to go to Creation Con back in the day. This is really going back. I think before I became a cop. So I'm probably told over 30 years. And I just couldn't deal with standing in a line to see somebody who was usually supporting cast of some show.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I think I got the. I think I got. I'm not sure if it was Heathcliff or Garfield. I think I got a signed print, not even real artwork, signed print, and it still cost me money. Tells you how impressed I was. I can't remember which one it was.
I got a friend I would game with. I call his name's Ray. We got more than one Ray in the group, so I call him Blue Ray. But every year I try to get him to go to North Texas, and every year it's during some kind of fan or anime or some kind of, sci-fi con. No, can't go. And he's got all these pictures of him with celebs. That's where he throws him. That's where he wants to throw his money, God bless him.
Right.
But that's why I can't ever get him to the con. There's always some kind of industry Comic-Con type thing that's
I don't know, Glenn.
happening at the same time.
Do you like this, or do you prefer to be in your face? In your. See, this is the one we need. If Glenn and I are going to be arguing, argue back and forth and put our fingers out there and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
I think for us, it's better to be just like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why you don't like I don't know why you don't like the room you're in. Well, it's probably because of race, but okay.
Right. Well, she's not there behind me, but she wander in once in a while, and then
Mhm.
and then it's like, and I get to be like, okay, so here, and I will remove the vegetable background for a bit, and you can see my little puppy dog right above my head. Look at that. My mother painted that. I've got the American flag there with the blue line. That's a wooden flag. But then again, I don't know if Rachel's gonna walk through. When she walks through, she doesn't want to go. Ah. So that's
No,
why
yeah. Well, you
I
see
put
everything. You see everything in my house. One of my
yeah,
bookcases was back
yeah,
there, and you don't see all my movies because they're in front of me here. But and as long as I can fix my camera so it doesn't do the Dutch angle thing. I hate that. I feel like I'm a Batman villain, Batman '66 villain.
Oh God. Well, that's only if I get to climb like up the side of a building and
Yeah.
fake it. It's like, wait a second, why? Well, why are their cloaks not following the capes? Sorry, they're capes, not cloaks. Why are their capes not falling the proper way? Shut up, kid. Don't ask those questions. You're ruining the illusion.
Somebody on YouTube put a video up where they cut all the guest star scenes from the '66 Batman, the scenes where they're walking up the building and somebody opens a window and says, hey, it's Don Rickles. Hey, it's Sammy
Right.
Davis. That kind of thing.
Uh,
Citizen.
yeah, John, how many can you really play? Not that many. The reality is, uh, I back more than I could ever read. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
that
right. I mean, I got more books than I could ever read. Game books. I got more movies than I could ever watch. And I got more coming.
there you go.
I also got a recorder coming. I put a link on there in your private chat there. In your privates. Hey,
Yeah.
hey. Yeah, I ordered one of those Zoom MP or Zoom was H4 um, field recorder type things where you can use it as a podcast thing too. It's really cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll put it in the chat.
and you know why I could do that?
Why?
Because Wednesday night we had was it Wednesday or Thursday? We had a really good night at Riverwind Casino.
Really?
Yeah. Came in with 200, came out with 1,100.
I love nights. I don't have them that often, but I love nights like that. That looks.
Yeah.
That is here. I'm gonna have to show it only because it looks like it's right out of like.
I got some more DVDs coming, more Blu-rays coming, more 4Ks. Yeah, that's it. That's what I ordered. That and a case and a 512 gig card for it.
Damn, dude.
And that's not even the top of the line. I was going to get the top of the line, but it's like, I don't need that much and I can do better. So the top of the line is like over $400. And this is 151. Wow. And I think I got out of it with like $230 for all three of them. So I still got some of my money. Hopefully I can hang on to it for North Texas, but that's a long way away.
That's a lot away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got to go back about 20 years since I had my big win. That was I was in Vegas with my son's mother, and the last night before we were leaving, we were in the Four Queens, and I'd already was playing. I had two machines that I enjoyed. There was a Silver Strike one, which dropped silver coins,
Uh-huh.
which I never cashed. I took home like I don't
Right.
know, probably a couple of dozen silver coins.
Hmm.
But and I also had another machine that would drop jewelry. And of course, I didn't get to keep the jewelry or cash it in. But I was last night I was playing some dollar machines, and like my last down to my last $10 I'm gonna play, and I hit like over $1,000 on the machine. Holy shit! So I
Oh, you want to hear something funny? That
Mhm.
1100 we made between the two of us,
uh
that was on penny machines.
oh damn
I
damn
mean, that machine wouldn't let you go above 10 cents. And I
really
just left it on 1 cent. And oh my God, we had such a good time. It just made our night. Finally, Becky is not going to go away from the casino going, you know, because when we go in there, if she hands me 100, she takes 100 and see how far we can get.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's like if we go to the casino up in the Poconos, we do the same thing. Beautiful Mount Terry Lodge. But so
Yeah.
I cash out my with my little slip, and I felt big, right? I tipped the girl behind the cashier. I gave her like $10. I was like, this is great. And I go back to the other side of that aisle, same machine, not really same style machine.
Uh huh.
Put another like $20 in. One of my pulls, like 950. I
Ha!
I go like I literally I'm like 5 minutes later I'm back at the same girl. Now I'm giving her 20, and I was like, that's it. I'm done for the night. I paid for my vacation. I paid for whatever monies I lost prior. I'm
Exactly.
done. I'm
Well,
done.
I remember 5 or 6 years ago in my collection, I have the complete Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zone on Blu ray. But before that, I had the DVD set. And I always like to tell people, you know how I got this DVD set? I was over at the casino and I played the Twilight Zone slot. And that's how I got the money to buy this set.
Wow.
It was just providence. But
Probably.
now I go into casinos and it's like, we had fun, okay? We had a good time. But it's not as fun as Vegas, you know, or Reno.
No, I got you.
It's a casino. Okay, fine. It's a casino. I like to eat. I eat food there. I play some table games, sometimes, slots and mostly slots. But, I don't know, something about Vegas having them all around you and being able to do different things is to me just kind of fun. Plus there's the shows,
Right.
you know. I'd like to I'm addicted to Cirque du Soleil now. So, yeah.
All right. So here we'll get slightly on topic for people that want us to be on.
Hey, I played the Dungeons and Dragons slot machine too.
Oh, well, then that's on
I have a
topic.
picture of it somewhere. Yeah, I found it was and it uses the Menser Red Box picture
Oh,
for it.
nice. But is it
Yeah,
a male? Is it a male warrior or a female warrior, Glenn?
beats me. They have to turn around for me to tell. I'm sorry.
Okay. So,
Oh,
I
this
was
guy.
I was joking.
Damn, Cliff from Cheers.
It's Cliff from Cheers if he was playing the Fonz. Eh,
Everybody knows your name. Da-da-da-dum-bum.
hey, Fonz. No, actually, that's
Every
Fonz.
time.
If everybody called Fonz what? Walter? Whatever is like his.
Yeah, I take care. Yeah, I take care of Wizards of the Coast now and a D&D thing. I want to let you know.
I
That's
mean,
what he
that
looks
is.
like. He looks like that guy.
Yeah, he looks like that guy. This, by the way, is your new president of Wizards of the Coast. Came from Warcraft. Now, um, not to be that guy, long
Oh,
time
yeah.
World of Warcraft leader, John Height. John Haidt was hired by Chris Cox, named president of Wizards of the Coast. But yeah, his experience is, and he's another one. You can, yeah. I play tabletop games. I play Dungeons and Dragons.
I wouldn't doubt it.
He's coming to the game. He's coming to the IP. If you think he's not coming to the IP because he understands month monthly billing and computerizing your tabletop, you're out of your mind. Okay, this is he's being brought that tabletop gaming is not his priority. Monetizing the IP certainly is.
Of
So
course. And if he pulls that same thing that the Williams gal did,
it's got to be a billion. It's going to be $1 billion property. $1 billion.
oh boy.
Wait, there's a sovereign citizen on court. I got to see that one, Dave. That looks like Cliff Clavin. That's got to be great. I'd
Yeah,
like to
I
see
was
him.
going to say.
I'd like to see him talk his way out of the assorted shit.
Anybody want a snow cone?
The judge said, but yeah, I mean that's what he looks like a used car dealer. I mean that's literally what he looks like. It's like, trust me, was only driven by a little old lady on alternate Sundays, and not even to get the church. She would just buy her milk for the week for her coffee.
Yeah, I taught Gary Gygax how to play. He never rolled dice before he met me.
Yeah. Well,
I taught him how to war game.
It was the elusive shift. Yes. I mean, so if you want to know the future of your gaming, and Mike and I and others, Professor DM have all been like, listen, the future of D&D. And when I say D&D, I'm not talking about role playing games. I'm talking about the IP of D&D. The future is digital. The future is less physical product, less books, less box sets, more subscription, because subscriptions right now when we're talking D&D, and
Oh yeah.
they made this comment. We're only repeating it. You're only monetizing the DM generally in D&D, right? But if you can
That's
monetize the
pretty much
player,
it.
when you move it to digital, you monetize everybody. What, Mike? Yes, we're talking about the new president at WotC, Mike. Yes, we are. Why, Mike? Why? Why? Oh, excuse me. Oh.
I think Mike is hinting you should let him on.
The bottle is up, but he's not. Oh.
See?
You're not glad you're not on, dude. Hold on.
Yeah, don't lie.
Don't. You know what? You're like a woman, Mike. You're like. Don't say that. Don't say that.
He said it, not me.
You know.
No. Amazing how much. Anyway, no, never mind.
So we have an invite going out to Mike, whether Mike acknowledges or not.
Yeah. Everybody, Mikey. If he shows up, we'll just have to say he likes it. Hey, Mikey.
He likes it. David, bad David. No cookie for you.
Okay, I tagged him. He's in.
Mikey likes it. And
Mike, what do you think of the new president of WotC?
No. Okay, so I just want to say, that really is all I wanted to say is that all Eric, my buddy Eric, my once a week work spouse, all he does is get beat on and kicked and slapped around because he dares to say things about WotC that every time they turn around, it turns out to be true. Every time that people don't understand that we have sources. We have sources. We're not just pulling stuff out of our ass. Well, okay, sometimes we pull stuff out of our ass.
am.
We pull stuff. But we have people we talk to that tell us stuff like a year before it happens. And then when it happens, we're like, yeah, okay, we heard that about a year ago. So all this stuff about the monetization of WotC and the digital and this and that, you know, people are like, I'm tired of hearing about, why are you guys talking about WotC all the time? Why don't you're old school guys, why don't you just talk about old school stuff? Why are you talking about WotC? Because it's important because of shit like this. This is important. It's important who they've chosen to lead their company.
OSR games off. That's why.
Well, it's because look who they've chosen. That they have chosen a path which is very obvious by the last few presidents. So they got rid of Way Winnegar late 2022, right? Who was a gaming guy. He was a gaming guy, okay? Yeah. He was in the community for decades. And ever since then, it's been one exec after, it's one soulless megacorp exec after another. And we've been saying this, you know, this is what you're going to get when you get people who don't care about the game.
Yes.
Run of the game. This is what you're going to get. And people just don't want to hear it. And they yell at Eric and more than me, because I'm not really on YouTube as much as Eric or posts.
Yeah, I know.
They just yell at Eric and say, what are you talking about WotC all the time, man? Just do, you know, because this kind of stuff, it affects the game. Yeah, it doesn't affect our old school games. And we always tell you what? We tell you to play old school games. We tell you to buy, you know, the good stuff. You know, go to cons like North Texas, you know, all that fun stuff. But you know, the effect that the leader of the genre, WotC, has on everything, it's like a trickle down effect, right?
Right.
The better WotC does, the better the whole hobby is. The Starbucks effect, you know.
Let me put it this way: us OSR guys, that whole OGL debacle, we weathered it a lot better than most people because we got our stuff.
We're fine. I mean, we still play. Look, my group, we played last Saturday. We played 2E. We still have all the 2E books. We've got all the OA. We got all the stuff.
And you know, we just feel bad for the publishers of said stuff.
Right.
You know, the third parties. And that's what we were fighting for them, as far as I'm concerned.
So, Gun, the thing is, for some reason, it's really odd. It's almost like it's planned. I wouldn't say that's planned, but suddenly Eric is getting all this flack from people who never post ever.
And it's mostly on Facebook, Mr. Gun. So
Facebook and YouTube that, you know, why are you so worried about what WotC does? You need to post more about OSR and old school games.
We should.
You know, who cares about WotC? And we do. We talk a lot about old school. All our guests are old school type people or third party people. You know,
believe me, if we didn't have to mention WotC or Hasbro or anything, we'd be happy.
Wouldn't it be great if they just published the game and didn't just make a screw up every month or so and then poor Professor DM has to. By the way, there was somebody on the YouTube channel a while back basically giving you a hard time, Eric, going, you know, Professor DM and all them, they never post about this stuff. Yes, they do. Professor DM posted the same post you did today about the president of WotC being a.
And by the way, when I did my video about Kyle Brinks leaving WotC, it was shared in the Facebook community for Dungeon Craft by Professor DM. He was like, if you want to know what's going on, go watch my friend Eric Tenkar's video. And
yes.
And it got pushed back because I don't know that these are rats jumping ship. Well, first off, I said, are the rats jumping ship? I asked a fucking question, but I got comments and pushback, not by people who watched the video. I got comments and pushback by people who had an agenda, and the agenda. Now, you can argue the agenda is the and not to bring politics in it, but you have like the anti-Trumpers, you have the anti-Tenkar aspect of this gaming community, because how dare Tenkar have any influence when he doesn't use it for the cause of whatever? They can go blow. But some of it seems a lot of times that it's criticism about WotC. And how
Yeah.
dare you criticize Wizards of the Coast?
I don't know why they have so many defenders. It's weird because even a lot of the 5e loyalists have pretty much jumped ship. And look, we'll still play 5e. I love 5e, but I'm just not going to support WotC. You hear that a lot, you know.
Yeah.
But there's people. It's just real weird when you get these. It's almost like they're doing something where they're getting a kickback. I mean, I don't think they're all streamers. Streamers, obviously.
I love you too, random citizen.
It's in their best interest. Most streamers, it's in their best interest to support WotC, obviously, but because they get free stuff, right? They don't want to stop the wagon train of free stuff rolling in.
It's like the Disney influencers. They try to keep on Disney guys so they can send them
Very
to
much,
these junkets and all this other stuff.
The Acolyte, it's the best show ever made in the history of Star Wars. And then the next one comes along will be the best one ever made in the history of Star Wars. That kind of stuff, because that's the way they roll.
If you've only seen one show about Star Wars, it'll be the best one you've ever seen about Star Wars.
That's right.
But if you've seen anything else...
And it's the same way with WotC. You know, same way with especially Hasbro. You know,
so Mike, I don't think I
you get brown lips, you get the stuff, you know.
Oh, so there was one person, and by the way, folks, you can go see the thread in the real OSR Facebook group. People came out of the woodwork to attack me. Yes, attack me and like the comments. And Stuart went through. And Mike saw this. Stuart went through instead of going, pulling people out. He's like, you've never commented. You've never posted. You've been here for years. But the first time you comment is to basically attack somebody. But I was looking at the profile of the main offender and complaining about me not talking about old school stuff. So, Mike, how many friends do you have on Facebook?
I don't know, 1,000, 1,500, maybe more.
Yeah, I've got 3,500 Facebook friends.
Jeez.
And I would say, well over 3,400 are people that have usually tried to add me because of gaming, because they know I am a pundit or whatever, a personality that talks about gaming. So you would think that if I have 3,500 Facebook friends and you're into old school gaming, there would be an overlap, right? You would expect an overlap.
Absolutely.
And you can look for overlaps, by the way, folks, on Facebook. You can go
popular media has overlaps. Fandom has overlaps everywhere.
Yes.
My DVD and Blu-ray people, they like to play video games. Video games people like to play role-playing games. You know, it's all there, you know.
So if you like old school gaming, and I like old school gaming, and I'm an old school gaming pundit, and we're in the same group, odds are we should share some friends. And with this one, with the main offender, or the person that was mainly offended, I shared two friends. Tim Kask and Ernie Gygax Jr. So you're telling me you're not an old school gamer because you've only got these two individuals who are known beyond old school gaming. You don't have any Glenn Halstroms, any Bad Mikes, anybody of that amount. No. We don't share those. You're telling me, and you're telling Stuart, by an extension, that you're not an old school gamer. You're there for one of two reasons. Either you're there because you want to badmouth Tenkar, or you're there because you're looking to defend WotC.
So there was a post today on the other OSR group, and this guy that they were talking about what a terrible human being you were, of course, Eric, and then how terrible Stuart was because Stuart was publicly naming people and saying bad things about him. And then somebody pops in, name that I didn't recognize, and said, yeah, I'm in that group too, but I'm just there to raise hell and drop bombs. I don't care about old school gaming. And I never wanted to ban somebody so much because I have mod permissions in that group, but I thought, you know what, that's not enough just to ban them. But apparently they admitted they were only in that group just to throw bombs.
Yep.
And they don't
I
really don't
read
like
some
old
of it. I
school.
got to go back and read some more of it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and so yes, there's
Sorry.
definitely those people that are in there just to raise hell and to troll and
But I
to,
like it.
be miserable human beings, and so that it's not a secret. They say that that's why I'm in here. I'm in here to be a jerk, and I don't know why they pick on you so much, Eric. There's a lot of miserable people in our hobby that you could pick on instead. I
Oh
don't really
yeah.
know why they have it out for you
Well,
more than a lot of other people.
I'm gonna make a guess. I'm gonna uh, spitball on this one, and I got accused of, how dare you make subjective news comments, like when you spitball, and I say I'm spitballing because I don't know 100% for sure, but I'm using my experience and knowledge to come up with a theory. I spitball, and I'm going to spitball on this one.
And it gets
Many
in
of
my
these
face
accounts
all the time.
are accounts that are alt accounts for people in what we call the Rainbow OSR, and the Rainbow OSR is such because they've got a rainbow flag icon for their OSR group. And if you don't answer questions properly when you're joining, you get removed. And if you dare comment about anything that doesn't follow the Fuhrer's, political ideals, you get mocked before you get banned. I've heard a lot of comments about that. But in that group, they make lists. Now, last summer, they made a list. And I made that list along with Courtney Campbell.
By the way, I posted the comment I was talking about. That's the comment the guy made, the one I just posted.
Okay.
And and so I looked him up, and I saw how often he posts on the other OS or this OSR group that we're talking about, and it was just thumbs up people or just
right.
he has no posts. He does no posts. He what he says is true. He's just there to add new folks to his block list and to laugh and point. So he's not an old school guy or an OSR guy. He doesn't care.
No.
He basically admits that. So yeah, I mean, there's people out there that they're just in it
Which
for the
group is this?
This is one of the many OSR role playing groups out there. There must be like 5 now. I don't know how many there are, but this is one that
just two. There are two main ones. You have
Well,
the
next time
OSR group with Stuart's old logo, and Stuart is the admin, Stuart Robertson, and then you have the one with Action Andy. He should not be named because if I name Action Andy by
his
full
name.
It's
don't
like,
say it a third time.
Don't say his real name. Don't say his real name.
Tenkar's talking about me. He's saying bad things. No, but I'm just saying that group.
Okay.
I get free rent in the heads of many of the members.
I'm wondering. Well, I'm wondering if I belong to any of them. I don't know. If so, my middle finger needs exercise sometimes, so I should go on there.
Look, I like to be a part of tons of groups just because I get all kinds of interesting info from everywhere. So I'm a part of all kinds of groups. I don't. It doesn't bother me. Matter of fact, even if I don't like a group, sometimes I'll just stay in there because some people are posting some.
It's entertaining.
I'm in a 5e group. I'm in a 5e group just because I like to keep up on 5e stuff. I want to see what the news is. I want to see what people like. I want to see what their favorite adventures are. I mean, I'm not half the stuff they talk about. I really don't care about. Right. But I'm there just because I like to. I think
I'm even in an ASIUM group. Yeah.
You probably are, yeah.
Yeah, just because I want to. It's not like I just want to keep up with. They get the best news sometimes,
Right.
My friend Brian, I like to keep up with ACM. He likes to keep up with Dragon's Foot, and it's like, good luck with that.
Dragon's Foot has some good stuff in there, though. I mean, some of those.
Right.
Actually, Dragon's Foot's been around so long now. There's some really great articles in there from 20 years ago, even.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But I get horror stories from Brian about the forums.
Yeah, they're still weird. The forums have always been weird.
They're just so hidebound, and it's not. They're on the other end of the spectrum for people who like 5e and all that. They're on the other section, the other side. They're they don't know how to play.
But I just like being part of other groups, and I don't roll into those groups and act like I'm a badass, and hey, I'm in this group now, so you need to all bow down to me or whatever. I just like to be in the background and just listen to people talk about, have conversations. And even when people say stuff that's ridiculous, sometimes I just like, I'm just gonna let that roll by because I really don't want to deal with it.
So I mean, listen, there's one thing that I have certainly noticed and I noticed this because I've been a moderator in a number of groups on Facebook. Sometimes I don't even know it. All of a sudden, I'm a moderator, and
that's what happened on Tenkars.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing that I've noticed is that it's often places where I'm a moderator that people come to, shall I say otherwise, but come to shit on Tenkar because they figure they can say stuff and then I'm going to be like, well, if I ban them or if I boot them, then I'm abusing my authority because he only got banned because I called Tenkar out. So usually when that happens, I go to the admin and say, listen, so-and-so was doing it. You do as you will. I'm not touching it. And I'll be honest with you, 9 times out of 10, the end result is the offender gets booted because they're not adding to the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
They are making a point like, hey, again, I'm not going to name a name, but the official mapper of WotC used to go into certain groups just to I wouldn't see it per se. I would because I was blocked. So people go in and make comments about me with just saying Tenkar and not tagging me with Eric Tenkar. And then somebody else screenshot and go, hey, so-and-so is basically attacking you. It's like, oh, that's awesome. And I'm the moderator in the group. So they did this to play games. This is the maturity level of people in their 40s and 50s who haven't gotten out of the middle school mentality of it's not even high school. In high school, you would get called out and you'd fight it out in the corner of the schoolyard after school or during lunch. Now this is middle school where everybody's like hiding behind the handball court wall after they say something to you. It's really stupid. But,
it can be entertaining sometimes, though. Definitely entertaining.
I look. Sometimes I love talking OSR and old school, but I don't think people don't understand what talking grid is. Talking grid, we talk about. We've never just you used to be an OSR show. No, we didn't. We were never an OSR show. Eric, since we first started, our show was about talking about current events in gaming. It's always been that for 3 years. It's been talking about current events in gaming. And I don't know, people this thing like, well, you guys used to talk all this OGL and OSR stuff. We interview a lot of OSR guests. We do. I mean, we try to. We try to have OSR guests. We like that's who we like, and that's whose project we like to push. But we were never like, hey, we're just going to talk about OSR for 2 hours. We've never done that. We just
we can every once in a while.
No, we'll have a show every once in a while. We'll talk about OSR stuff if we don't have a guest that week or whatever. But that's just not what our show's about. These people, they're just showing that they don't watch our show and they don't know what we talk about when they say, like, well, you guys need to start talking about the OSR again. We just never did it. We always talked about current events in gaming.
Good night, Dave.
We've just always done that. Later, David. Get up.
I mean, and then by the way, just as an aside, if you really want to piss me off, the easiest way is to tell me what to do, and people don't say, "Hey, maybe you could talk more this, more that." They tell you, "You got to do this," and once you say you got to do this, my reaction is, your opinion doesn't matter because you're not making a suggestion.
I can agree. I can agree with you. I don't like people telling me what to do that way. You got to do this. It's like, well, I've got a marriage for that. So,
wow,
that is accurate, though.
I said that just to get Bad Mike to laugh.
Well, you got me.
I got you. By
the way, Glenn is just so cool. He gave me a whole box of DVDs.
You got them? Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I just want to say that I gave Django to my grandkids. You have a Blu-ray of Django in there, which I thought they would like that.
Rango?
Rango. I thought it was.
Yeah.
I was just say Django. It was
That's all right.
Rango. Yeah, I gave the
Jenga,
DVD.
but with DVD.
I gave the DVD Rango to the kids because
I
that's
can see you give them Django onto home. No.
yeah. My grandkids are watching Django Unchained. It was awesome. Yeah. No, they're not watching Django. No, they're not. Gosh. Oh, terrible grandfather then. No, Rango. They liked it. So I thought that.
Oh, good. I knew that. I just got the 4K Steelbook, so it's like.
Oh,
right,
nice. Okay. And
fact,
by the way, I'd like to say, so Glenn and I, we've had this talk before. Glenn is the smartest guy on the block because once again, we see by today's Microsoft outage and nobody could get in their cloud accounts and nobody could get in their computer. This is why you have to own your own entertainment.
You know what's funny? I didn't know about this until much later. I went to the doctor. I went to the ER today. Becky had a mammogram. Didn't affect him at all because we were out in the boonies.
Yeah, my father had a doctor's appointment today, and I took him to it, and I'm like, this is taking fucking forever. And he finally comes out like an hour and a half later. He's like, I'm sorry for that. I'm like, what happened? He goes, well, that tech outage, they had to do all the reports by hand and all that other stuff. I was like, oh.
Oh, by the way, Mike, I've already started your next year's North Texas DVD pile.
Nice. I saw the backlog.
First one I replaced, I found a 4K, Blu-ray of Marty, and so you get my DVD.
Oh, I love Marty. Yes, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Ernest Borgnine, awesome. So I mean, I like putting stuff on the cloud, but I have hard copies of everything, and I mean, I've always had hard copies, and a guy that we know and love, John Lyle, a few years ago, our buddy from North Texas. He decided he was going to get rid of all his DVDs because it's all streaming now. It's all streaming. Why do I have all these Marvel DVDs and Alien and this and that? It's all streaming. So he sold and sold and sold and sold. You know what he's been doing the last few years? He's been buying. Because
yeah, that's what.
Because unless you have the Disney Channel, you can't watch Marvel movies or Star Wars. Unless you have, I mean, all these things are on different networks. They're not on one channel called streaming. They're all over the place.
The movie people, the DVD and the Blu-ray people are learning. I learned this a long time ago when I stopped gaming. Then I got on Save or Die, and I had to go buy all those books again. So it's the same thing. You know, I was lucky. I got pretty much all I need, all I want, but I got damn lucky like 10 years ago. I mean, I called Half Price Books my other game store. Mm-hmm. Because now you can't do it because they learned how much things were worth. But the point is, I started a podcast. I had to get all this stuff again. So yeah, everything old is new again. Like my big stack of Judges Guild. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
but I mean that it's great to have online copies. But I mean, I would have
I had that
computer and then put it on a hard drive and then put it on a thumb drive and then put it on a backup disk because I've got all that stuff on all backed up.
When
because
I buy something at the
one of these days,
game store or online or on a Kickstarter, I get PO'd if they don't give me a PDF of it.
I have very few items that aren't backed up, and Eric's heard the story a million times about my Kindle account. I lost about 200 books on my Kindle account. And ever since then, I've been nope. If I can't put it in my hands and feel it and touch it, I don't own it. It doesn't belong to me. And I think people need to wise up.
I think they did that once on Netflix, and that was it. Whenever we want to watch something that isn't out yet, we buy it for 1 or 2 days so we can watch it, and then that's it.
We did that. We did Yellowstone. My wife and I were on vacation. We rented Yellowstone. It's like $20, and we saw the whole 5 seasons or whatever, or 4 seasons and we knew we weren't going to own it. But we didn't care. It's like going to see it at the movies, like you said. We did that, but we didn't think, oh gosh, we're going to own this forever. It's like, do you want the option to buy it? I'm like, no, because if I buy it, I still don't own it. You could at any point something could happen, and then all of a sudden Yellowstone's not around, and I just
free now. This is free now, but I had Becky re-sign up Netflix just so I could watch the new live action One Piece.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's like,
okay.
oh, it's only, because I was thinking of getting into One Piece, but I said, I don't have that kind of time to watch all this anime and read all this manga. So I'm going to watch the live action. It's only 8 episodes for the first season. So I'll do that first.
Well, like I said, people just. So my wife was supposed to fly back from Colombia today and go through Miami Airport, and so she decided to stay another week with my daughter-in-law, and they're going to some spa vacation. Of course, I'm here in 100-degree heat in Texas, and they're on a spa vacation in Colombia.
Oh, hell yeah.
And with my cat, I'm here with my cat, watching political videos. But anyway, she said, "Well, I'm so glad I didn't fly back." Her flight was canceled. Miami canceled almost half the flights today out of Miami, and so she would have been stuck in Miami without any return home. Just whatever, we'll get you home someday. So she would have eventually got a flight home, but until then, she stayed in a hotel in Miami for God knows how long. So she's very glad, and we're very lucky that she did not fly home. And DFW Airport, from what I heard, was an absolute mess today. It was just absolutely ridiculous. All the people that flights canceled or flights delayed and this and that, all because of one update that had one bad thing on it. I mean, just imagine when your stuff's on the cloud and you don't own it. And so anyway, I guess I'm bringing this around to D&D, guys, because once you start having all this stuff VTT, and it's just I just have a VTT. I don't own any game books. It's awesome. I can play, get online and play. You can only get online and play as long as you get online and play.
That's right.
And then you can't get online, or once there's an outage, or once there's
right,
or
once a company like Waxy decides that they're pulling all the PDFs, even after you purchase them. This has already happened, folks.
See this?
Yep.
See this? These are my keys, my house key, and my car key. This stays on my keys all the time. That is a thumb drive with all the stuff I need for gaming, including a lot of character sheets. I bring this to the con. I'm never without this.
I've got a thumb drive. I've got a couple of thumb drives that one of those drawers you have in your kitchen that has everything in it. I have a couple of thumb drives in there that have tons and tons and tons of old DD modules. And if I'm going somewhere like Glenn said, to a con or something, I grab that thumb drive, because if I need to run something, as long as I have the computer, I can just plug that in and pull up B1 or C1 or S1, whatever. It's all on there. All the
I've got a backup drive that says, as a folder has gaming. It's got a ton of books, supplements, and modules in it. And I've got a pretty good portion of those on here too. I believe in redundancy. So I got the thumb drive and this. Plus, I've got tons of movies that I can put on here too. So this is my saving grace when I'm going, when I'm traveling. Right there.
That's smart, man.
Screw your in-flight movie. I'll just open this up and
I'm with you, man. I'm totally with you. I try to own as much media as I can. My music, I was on Apple Music for a very short time, but I once again, that's when I started realizing, I don't really own this music, and so I copied all the music, and now I don't have to worry about. I don't buy stuff that I don't own. I have, a couple of thousands CDs of music. I used to work at a music store.
Oh yeah, and I got
and so yeah. As a matter of fact, one of my big projects is I'm going to try to burn everything.
And a thumb drive and my phone is I got tons of old time radio shows.
Oh, I do too, Glenn. Well, you know what I have? Okay, tell me if you remember this one, Glenn. CBS Radio Mystery Theater.
I used to listen to it with
E.G. Marshall. Yes. Well, Glenn, they're all online. You can copy them. You can download them all. And so I made discs of them. Sometimes we go on car trips, but I used to have a DVD player in the car. I would make my wife listen to them because I remembered some when I was a kid. I used to listen to those when I was a kid. They were great. They had some big stars on there.
I've got Inner Sanctum, Dragnet, Johnny Dollar, Broadway's my beat. I like the cop shows and the horror ones. And I've got a ton of Jack Benny.
Dude, Dragnet started on radio, and it's awesome on radio. It is awesome. Dragnet is great on radio. But yes, Jack Benny. Jack Benny was a funny dude, man. That so many people growing up not hearing his stuff.
I've even got stuff like The Lives of Harry Lime, with Orson Welles.
Orson Welles, yeah. Oh wow, I need to look up some of that stuff. I bet it's easy. Not that
Lives
hard
of
to
Harry
find
Lime
this
is
stuff.
like a prequel to Third Man,
I've heard some of those. Yeah, those
and
are
they're
pretty
really
good. Too.
good.
Yeah,
There's
really
even
good.
one here called was it Poor Louis something Adventure, where it stars Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall as it's almost like an extension of To Have and Have Not.
They're fun if you're to listen to when you're driving, because if you're if you're driving and watching a show, you're doing it wrong, folks. That's dangerous. Don't do that. But if you're driving and listen to a radio show, it's great because you're just driving along. You hear everything. You're not missing anything. You don't have to keep looking down your. Not that I've ever done that, kids.
Oh yeah, I've
never looked at my iPad while I'm driving. That's very dangerous. I don't do that.
Oh yeah,
but radio
folks,
shows.
Don't do drugs. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do drugs. Don't drive and watch Friends at the the same on your iPad.
And don't text and drive either. All right.
Yeah, never.
Don't game and don't even game and drive. You can have somebody else roll that.
One of my many problems with the new direction of Hasbro also is you're not going to really own anything when you get that super cool dragon icon thing for buying the new, early release, whatever. You don't really own that dragon, folks. You own that dragon as long as you're part of D&D Beyond online.
By the way, I have not talked to Gage for a while, but when I do, I have to break the bad news about the next iteration of 5th edition coming out, because they are removing the Artificer. That is his favorite class, the Artificer.
That's weird. I wonder why it seems like they'd expand.
I've already seen an announcement they're going to get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, that is kind of odd, because that seems to be one of the favorite classes of people I talk to. That the wizard, and I don't know, with barbarian. There's a few that people everybody loves.
Well, personally, I think they should have kept it in Eberron with the Warforged.
Well, I mean, he could still. I mean, look, there's going to be a lot of people, Glenn, still playing 5e. They're not going to update the edition.
Yeah, you can. We've learned a long time ago, like with AD&D and D&D and 2nd edition, we just choose what we want and we put it in our game.
Sure. And that's the great thing about the game is that, Gary Gygax's famous quote, the biggest secret is that you don't need, you don't need to keep buying the rules to play. Once you have the rules, that's all you need. That's very true. And I know
that's your start right there.
Yeah. Just playing the game. Look, the game we're playing right now. We thought about moving to Dragon Slayer, Greg Gillespie's game, but really we're playing 2E, and we all know the rules. We all have the rule books. It's just really basic. It's like it's really just souped up AD&D, 1E, and we thought about switching to Dragon Slayer. I said, look, you guys want to play BX? You want to play this? They said, no, we want to play 2E. We have all the rule books. It's easy.
I have to do a review of this, but I'm thinking about this one.
Which Nave is pretty interesting. I mean, I like Shadow Dark a lot. I wouldn't mind doing a Shadow Dark campaign. Like I said, I like OSC quite a bit. I love
Nave can be used with any old school module or whatever. I guess that's I just don't see it. I mean, I'd have to go through it and figure out if that works or not. But God bless.
We just don't have enough time left, Glenn. We're getting old to the point where we have to really be really careful about what we play, because we have limited time in our lives, not just our gaming time. I mean, I'm like sitting here going, I'm 61. I got 20 years maybe until I start buying.
All three of us are, as far as I know, retired, and we still don't have enough time.
Am I going to turn to Biden someday and not be able to remember things? I mean, I don't want that to happen when I'm 81, but it could.
Hey, that's great that I can haul out my old Judges Guild, and
there you go. What's this Cabinet thing? Oh, it's awesome.
It's like the Biden question. So, Ben Mike, did you run a game last week?
Monkey Blood, Mugu guy. Yes. We beat the ogre. We beat the ogre.
By the way, did we ever beat Medicare?
Yeah, we beat the ogre. I mean Medicare. I mean the ogre. The ogre. No, but so I'm just sitting there going, okay, I'm really lucky now. We play once a month, and then of course I go to conventions and sometimes play. But gosh, there's so many games still out there. Look, I've always wanted to run a Metamorphosis Alpha campaign, because I have a great idea for a campaign. And I've run the first scenario. So I have an initial scenario that I've run 2 or 3 times. Every time I've run it, people love it. They absolutely love it because I tell them we're playing Gamma World. This is a Gamma World campaign. They're like, okay. And we start playing Gamma World, except it's actually metamorphosed itself, and I don't tell them. And it's not until a certain part of the adventure when they hit the wall, the little light bulb goes off in their head, and they go, "Oh, this is metamorphosed itself, isn't it?" Because then they realize they're on a ship. They think it's a Gamma World because it's a land that this group has been in for hundreds of years. And of course, there's a backstory where their ancestors woke up on the cryo deck, and these androids showed them the way to this big lush deck of forests, and they settled there. And so they have this legend that these people led us through the valley of this mountain, and we came to this valley to escape our enemies. And of course, you can find that valley, and it's actually a entrance to the mid levels and stuff. So I have all these little Easter eggs everywhere.
Hit the wall. I love it. You turned it into the Truman Show.
Everybody that does it, when they hit that one part of the adventure where they hit basically the wall, they're like, "Oh, you tricked us. This is not Gamma World. It's Metamorphosis Alpha." Like, gotcha.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to run that campaign. I have about 5 or 6 adventures about where they have to basically get. So there's a problem happening on the level. The weather machine's broken, and the summers are getting hotter, and the winters are getting colder, and it's raining more, and there's floods. And so the main goal is not to escape the level, it's to fix the weather machine that's messing up the level. And to do that, you have to go all over the level and find different parts of it and then be able to put it together. And so I had a whole campaign. I want to run this campaign, Glenn. I don't know if I'm going to have time. I'm never going to have time to do this. I don't know when I would ever do it.
Run around and get different parts
I
of the
love
machine.
Call of Cthulhu. I love Call of Cthulhu. I'd love to run a Call of Cthulhu campaign. I don't know what I'm going to. I have no clue.
I loved Call of Cthulhu. It just was too hard for me to run. It was just too hard for me to run. But
you have to have a theme because it's such a deadly game that it's very easy to lose characters. But if you run a campaign, people care about their characters more, and they don't put them in danger as much as they do for one shots. And the campaigns I've run over the years, it seems to work pretty good.
I had a philosophy for that. I told people I run the least deadly Call of Cthulhu campaign you'll ever find, because I don't bring the big bads out rarely, because I said, you guys, the goal of it is not to kill the elder gods. The goal is to stop the minions of the elder gods,
Absolutely.
The high priests, all those followers. That's what you have to do. That's the goal. And if they're human, if they can bleed, they can be dead, or whatever it is.
Well, we always found when it worked is they had a core group that called Cthulhu, and they would hire muscle to basically go in there with machine guns and guns and get all killed and driven insane and exploded. And then they would sit back and they would be kind of like the chess. They'd move the chess pieces, so to speak. Like, okay, we're going to do. They would be the ones that research the books and learn the spells and this and that. But they would always have muscle. And then that way my characters would get to play an intellectual type, but also they could play a gangster with a Tommy gun, which is, look, there's nothing more fun than going into a lair of deep ones with a Tommy gun, right? And just like,
yeah.
And then you go insane. You just start firing at everything.
You could clear out Innsmouth in 30 minutes.
Exactly. You're throwing dynamite and like you make a bad roll and you blow yourself up. Yeah, whatever.
Here's something for Dagon.
Take this and shove it up Dagon's behind and throw it the dynamite. No, we had fun, but I'd love to run it. I've got some ideas for some Call of Cthulhu campaigns. We started to run a modern one years ago, and it was really fun. I'd like to run a modern Call of Cthulhu campaign in the 80s, though, because that's kind of my sweet spot for nostalgia is the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to run, or I'm sorry, I said 80s, 70s. I'd like to run a 70s Call of Cthulhu campaign set in like, all the crime that was going on in the 70s, set in New York City in the 70s. And Eric can tell you that was a wild spot, I'm sure, because there was crime was crazy. You had disco, you had Studio 54, you had the Bicentennial, you had all the stuff going on there in the
black exploitation.
Oh my gosh, you had just every crazy thing going on in New York City in the 70s.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
The Yankees were going to the World Series every year. I mean, it was just all kinds of stuff.
You know what's funny? I just got a brainstorm about. So you said it in the 70s. What else was going on in the 70s?
Oh, martial arts.
Chinatown with
oh my
all
gosh,
the wild martial arts.
Kung Fu. Oh gosh, you could have one character that's a Kung Fu guy. Yes. I mean, I thought about all that because I don't know if you ever saw that game Spirit of 76. That's an awesome role playing game, by the way. It's called Spirit of 76. It's where you role play 70s movies basically.
Okay. Then there's another one called Solid.
I don't think I've seen Solid. I've seen Spirit of 76. It's like I said, it's really good. I like the system and everything.
Okay.
Once again, another game I'd like to play. Spirit of 76. I'm not going to play that.
Yeah,
when are we going to have time? We're not going to have time to play all these great games, man.
I know. I've got Knave here. I've got Index Card RPG I want to use. I still want to do some Savage Worlds. You know?
Yeah, great system. That's a great system too,
I'm still working on my Savage DuckTales.
And
that kind of thing. I just figured out today I was getting into one, like I mentioned One Piece before. I was getting into One Piece and it's like, oh my God, I can the first campaign world they came out with that was 50 fathoms. I could do One Piece real easy in 50 fathoms. Real easy. Something to think about.
I guess that's something else. What genres, or is there any genre underrepresented in games at this point? I think they may have covered everything. There may not be
even westerns are starting to get their props. Aside from the weird western, I mean regular westerns. Even they're getting their props now. I remember there's one guy who put in his blog he had a rudimentary game system to play spaghetti westerns.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, it's something about he called it something like "Pay for your coffin, Sartana is coming" or something like that. You know.
Well, a few years ago, Zach pitched me a game. Zach Glazer, a World War II role playing game. But get this, it's a World War II role playing game, but you're playing caper stuff like Kelly's Heroes.
Oh,
you're not getting involved in wars.
Operation
White Box. And so his theory was that it's a World War II game, but it's not all blood and guts and Saving Private Ryan. It's more Kelly's Heroes, maybe Dirty
Dozen.
Yeah, Dirty Dozen, Great Escape, that kind of stuff. You're playing capers. Like, look, we all got to, Force 10 from Navarone. We got to go on a mission behind lines. You got the Jewish kid from New York. You got the hillbilly kid from Tennessee. You got the Italian
guy over here.
The movie guy, the guy that's in the movies in California. And you get them all. So you have all these character types. You get them all together, and you all have to go, steal something like Hitler's or something. You have to steal the Spear of Destiny. Or something.
Yeah. So. You see, that kind of thing, as far as World War II goes, that's the way to play it, is squads, is groups. Don't try and do the big war. Try and do what's going on over here.
We were fun. It was pretty fun. The way we had it set up, it was pretty deadly because what you did was you didn't have hit points. You could be hit 3 times. What it was is you had 3 times you could be hit. Now, if you had these luck point things, you could use them to take one off. But if you had 3 things happen to you bad, you were basically dead. So 3 bullets, or like a knife and 2 bullets, or a bomb, or grenade, 2 bullets. But like I said, you have ways of getting rid of them. So there was lethality. It wasn't high lethality, but you could like do this thing with the end, kind of like a Dirty Dozen or something. We're like, hey man, I'm going to hold off the Nazis. You guys run for it. All right, buddy. Right. I'll tell your girl back home. Yeah, tell my girl back home I won't be baback.
Yeah, there are a lot of movies that are made for that.
Yeah, like I said,
where Eagles Dare.
That's one of the reasons I think why the Star aside from Disney and all that other crap. That's why, to me, that's why Star Wars is so popular. Because like World War II, you can either fight in the Resistance or the Empire or whatever, or you can do these smaller stories in the backwater planets and stuff, like Mandalorian does. You know, there's all kinds of. You can pick and choose which ones what you
As a
want
matter
to
of fact,
play.
the first scenario we thought of, we talked about that we riffed on was going to be a Stalag 17, where you're escaping from a German concentrate
yeah.
or prison camp. That was the first scenario we were going to run. That way, it would throw all the different characters together. You could have any kind of character you want. You're all escaping, and so you'd have to make up the escape plan. You'd have the map of the Stalag or whatever, and then you got to figure out how we're going to get out. So yeah. I mean even that kind of genre you could do stuff with. I think there's still stuff to be done with that kind of genre.
Yeah, my idea still has legs. I think about combining Star Wars with Dukes of Hazzard.
What?
Yeah.
You got to pitch me on this.
Yeah,
you got to pitch me on this
some
one.
planet like Dagobah or some backwater planets.
Oh my god!
And you got these guys running around with the what is it, the hovercraft that's colored up like the General Lee or something.
Oh my god!
And they're trying to outrun the local law.
Glenn, this is a convention. Eric, this is a convention adventure, isn't it? This is a con adventure right here.
They're good old boys out there.
The Dukes of Dagobah. The Dukes of Dagobah. Call it that. And everybody gets a pre-gen, and your pre-gen are basically
and they're just
the characters from Dukes of Hazzard.
They're part of the Empire, but they're way, way out there. So you got the local law you have to deal with.
Oh yeah, the Dukes of Tatooine.
For the Empire, you got like a Empire version of Boss Hog.
Oh my God!
Or sheriff.
Glenn, I think I found your next one shot to run at a con.
You even have some kind of alien uncle who has a still back there.
Yes,
brewing that Mandalorian, that whatever it is.
He's brewing the milk that Luke was drinking in the one movie, but except that fermented, it turns out it's highly highly alcoholic. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have to write this myself. I like this. I like it.
And they be chasing after him with all their high tech stuff and crashes and all kinds of.
Yeah, you're having land speeder chases across Tatooine with the law chasing the boys. They got their souped up land speeder
because all that stuff. That they could basically they could have a planet where they outlawed because the locals get too crazy, so we're outlawing alcohol and there's running. They're basically Thunder Road. They're running the revenue. They're the revenuers, and you're the
just a couple of good old boys and a Jedi or two and a lightsaber here.
Oh, that'd be fun. Put a Jedi in the mix. That'd be fun.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I don't know. This sounds like an idea ripe for exploitation. I'm sorry.
Oh,
if somebody hasn't done this yet, it needs to be done.
Do you still remember that name? That game, Grave Robbers from Outer Space. It's a card game.
I don't think I don't know.
You're basically playing directors of competing exploitation movies, usually horror and stuff. Like that.
Is that like the game that that Lu was doing, where you're the B movie guys?
Yeah, they've done variations on it. They did a '70s Black Boy Station one. But anyway, this game, every card has a word, like a noun or a verb or something like that, and you're supposed to take like 5 cards and make a title for your B movie.
Okay.
And so it's like I used to take those and go, okay, boom, 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 boom. The lizard girl wants brains. And I said, okay, that's my title. We're going to make a game around that. I'm going to make a role-playing adventure around that.
But by the way, I read a Lu did a replay of the games he ran in North Texas, and that game, the movie game, sounds awesome. And this is the one where you're doing a really bad Italian spaghetti horror movie. And so the whole point is to basically make your you're all actors in this movie, and you're supposed to make your actor the preeminent. You're all fighting for a part. Mm-hmm. And the worse you make the movie, the better. Like the dumber or more horrible you make the movie, the better. And he did he talked about it, or he said what the group did, and it sounded so freaking fun. Oh my gosh, it sounded fun.
Somebody asked me how you come up with stuff, because it's like, well, I just think like William Castle. I come up with a name and then build something around it.
There's a great, if you ever, what's Matt Finch's book? The one that has all the charts in it. I can't remember the name of it. Oh my gosh.
Crypt World.
No, Matt Finch. The Matt Finch. He has that. He
Oh,
has
that
that book.
Matt Finch.
Yeah, he has that book that they did a Kickstarter of recently. Anyway, it's got all the stuff.
Oh,
in there.
the Tome of Adventure Design.
Yes. Yes, Toad of Adventure. So he's got this one section in there where you roll up a title for your adventure. It is the best thing to spark your imagination you've ever seen. Because you'll be rolling up stuff like the dead dragon on the moon, or I mean, just crazy stuff. And you can roll up locations. But the best, like I said, the best thing, I rolled up one time 10 titles for adventures, and everyone was like, it was like a Clark Ashton Smith story. It was very evocative, because you ever look at Clark Ashton Smith's stories, like the Torturers of Nat or the Necromancers from Beyond. It's always 3 or 4 nouns that are really weird. There's a weird adjective in there, you know.
I still think the best movies come out of shit like that. The best movies. I mean, Val Lewton, the studio would hand him a title, say, "Go make the movie."
Oh my gosh!
And he'd go make the movie, and he'd do whatever he wants as long as it kind of fits.
Who did the devil? Oh God, Val Lewton, I think, did the one where they gave him a title and he did something totally different than.
Oh yeah, I walked with a zombie.
I walked with a zombie, yes. Which doesn't. It's one of the most evocative titles in Hollywood. But the movie is not what you think the movie is going to be. If you watch the movie, you would not. It's not what you think the movie is going to be.
Yeah, and what it is, he said, okay. He said, okay, they gave us I Walk with a Zombie. You know what we're going to make? We're going to make Jane Eyre in the South Seas.
It's a great movie too. It's a great movie.
By the way, Criterion in October is going to release that and The Seventh Victim as a double bill on one of their Blu-rays.
So John Miller brought up Cat People. That was another one where Val Lewton just thought of some awesome. But there's some great ideas in that movie. That movie's a great movie. I mean, not the Bowie version, the original.
Both Isle of the Dead with Karloff and Bedlam with Karloff was based off of paintings, old carvings. You know, it was crazy. I mean,
before Karloff started drinking the embalming fluid, I guess. No, wait, I'm sorry.
The 3 he did with Karloff are great. The Body Snatcher is absolutely one of the best things Karloff ever did.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The Body Snatcher is a great movie. But
look, Downton Abbey, the RPG, that would sell. I'm going to guarantee you that would sell. There are people that would play the hell out of that
already.
They probably have.
I mean,
I guarantee you that thing would sell. The storytelling game, oh my gosh, everybody would be all over that.
Oh hell yeah!
They would love that.
I've got around here a first edition of the Fabulous Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
Oh, that's right. That was also an RPG. Also,
I know they did. I know he did a second edition, but I managed to find a first edition at half price a long time ago. I just bought it for, curiosity's sake. So anyway, Eric, you're so quiet.
I'm sorry. You guys are having a good time. I'm not going
to. By the way, Erwin, I started reading. I thought this is going to be my Clark Ashton Smith summer. So here we go. I got my British editions, and so I started with Lost Worlds Part 1, and I've already read some really classic. And man, let me tell you, Lovecraft and Howard were good writers, but Clark Ashton Smith stuff is creepy, and he wrote a lot about necrophilia. It's creepy. His stuff is very, very off the chart weird, So, it's some good stuff. And a lot of his stuff does read like D&D stories. A lot of his stories, like it'll be somebody like there's one. It's about these necromancers that go to this city and they raise all the dead up and they have them do all their chores for them and everything. And one of the undead starts realizing that he's dead, and he starts rebelling against him. And so it turns out he remembers this old prophecy that you're supposed to go to this certain part of the city, and there's a wall there, and you break the wall, and there's a sword you pull out of the wall, and that sword. I mean, it's just like all these things. So he has to go on this quest to basically kill these necromancers that are making everybody that's dead in the city all rise up and do their chores for him. It's a great story. And he teams up with an old mage the town. The mage tells him to go here and there, and he gets the sword, and he ends up killing the necromancers, and it's just really great. I mean, it's a very D&D-ish story about how the guy has to go on a quest to do this, but he's dead. The dead guy has to go on a quest to find all these items.
A village in my campaign world. I actually put a village where they use the undead for cheap labor.
Yeah, or when I the stories I'm reading, I think that is what. So as weird as Lovecraft stuff is, there's a lot of stuff in Lovecraft that's only hinted at and not explained in depth. Clark Asher Smith has this one story called the Isle of the Tortures. He goes into very exquisite detail about the tortures. It's kind of it's a tough one. I don't know if I want my kids reading it. It's
which
rough.
reminds me, didn't they make Gore the role playing game?
Yes, they did.
They did. They
right.
did make Gore.
Oh,
that was Grim Jim.
Grim Jim, yes.
What a twisted world!
The role-playing game. Man. You can definitely make a role-playing game about anything or almost anything. You know.
Oh yeah.
I have one here. So I just got this game because I just thought the concept sounded interesting, and I read it, and it's not even a. Let me find it here. Let me vamp for a second. Try to find this game. All the crap I've got here. I love you. You love me. We're a happy family.
I don't want to see a role-playing game of that.
I got it. It was cheap in a store. I saw it. I said I'd buy it. And then I bought the sequel to it because I thought it sounded interesting.
Really?
And I can't find it. And I wanted to show you it. Here it is. And I'm a sucker for digests, as you know. It's called Two Summers, and the sequel is Other Summers. Huh. So it's a role playing game where you're kids, and it's the summer, and you're basically you solve a mystery. You solve a mystery that summer, and the DM has to figure out all the stuff that's all the mystery. It's not supposed to be violent necessarily. It doesn't be violent, but you do some things happen. Then you go forward 20 years. And you have the same characters, very much like It, right? You have the kids, and then you go ahead, whatever. Then 20 years, you go ahead, and something to do with that original summer, you have to bring back. Except now it's a little darker and a little more violent, and there's some bad stuff that's going to happen probably. And so it's kind of a storytelling game, but there's also you can roll, stuff can happen or whatever. Other Summers is the same plot, except that they have rules for magic and horror and supernatural in Other Summers. So it basically goes to this game. But I thought that's a really interesting concept because there's a lot of really good. Like look at the movie. Like I said, it's probably the most.
That's the famous. Nice variation on Stranger Things.
Like,
kids on
yeah, Stranger Things, kids on bicycles. But like I said, the 20-year thing it makes it cool where you jump ahead and now you're 20 years older and like you have to think of it. The DM has to make a plot that works when they're kids, but also it's going to work when they're adults. And so there's something that happened that summer they didn't solve, they didn't finish it. And when the 20 years later, you work the same character, so you're 20 years older. There's rules about how you make that character age and this and that. And you have to. There's a lot of parts of there where you have to think of you. You describe your own character. You think of flaws or you think of secrets that character might have, and the other characters, might figure it out. Maybe they don't, so it's, I just thought, I love role-playing games because you have stuff like that. I just thought it was interesting. I don't think I'll ever play it, but it was really interesting.
By the way, Mike, James Bond wants to know if he's too late to insult you.
No, he's never too late to insult me. Never.
Well, I should say,
he has to ask my permission.
Not until I see you next year at the con at North Texas.
I would love James to come back to the con. He's got a little baby now, though. He's got a little guy.
By the by, when you guys are ready, since I'm special guest next year, let me know so I can submit a game or two.
I would wait a little while. I never like to submit.
I've got some ideas I think I want to do.
Yeah, just wait. Errol Otis hit the game. That game was called. What was the game that Errol Otis did the art for? It was called Alma Mater, which was banned at Gen Con. Banned at Gen Con because it was It was a game you played high school kids, but there was drugs, sex, and rock and roll in it. Hey. And so Alma Mater was banned. I believe it was banned either Gen Con or Origins the year it came out.
Probably very violent too.
Because, it was about kids and I think it came out in 1980, 81. But
I seem to remember it.
it has some really.
He did the art for that.
Yeah, oh yeah, he did the cover. He did all the art in there. It's creepy. Errol Otis doing regular people is creepy because he makes them look really weird. But yes, there was rules for prostitution and sex and drugs and violence and
anything I can adapt to D&D. Yeah, I know.
I almost kind of want to run an alma mater game. I've actually been. I actually was tempted. I'm tempted to run a Planet of the Apes game now that the new Planet of the Apes system is going to be out pretty soon.
Oh, that's right. We always got Apes Victorious.
Yeah, Apes Victorious. That's true. And then you have the original one. Oh, speaking of which,
what do you got now?
How about something I'd like to call Simian Conquest?
Oh boy,
which was the original person trying to do a Planet of the Apes game. It came out in the
looks so 80s.
Oh, it's very early 80s, late 70s. Yes, Simian Conquest, and then of course, like you said, Apes Victorious, and then there's a new one coming out also. So, that'd be a fun little one shot, right? Is to have a bunch of apes, gorillas, and chimps all get together and investigate something going on beneath the earth, or I don't know, somewhere else. And
we can't always play rabbits.
You're not always rabbit. You can't always be a rabbit. Come on. Sometimes you gotta be an ape. You gotta be an ape.
Yeah. Gotta be. The apes thing the Planet of the Apes thing, I could never be interested in that for some reason.
You didn't see did you see the new movies, Glenn? They're actually pretty good. They did really good.
It's just not my, even though like it was, the original was adapted by Rod Serling. I know, one of my favorite writers, but still it didn't do anything for me.
So you never even liked the original series, the original 5 movies?
I was uninterested.
That's interesting because for me, see, when I was a kid, Charlton Heston was God because he was in that. He was in the Omega Man. He was in Soylent Green. I mean, he was. Yeah. Oh my gosh, he was the sci-fi king to me. And so, anything Charlton Heston was in, I'd watch. And so I watched those movies over and over again when I was a kid. And I saw Planet of the Apes quite a few times. I love that.
I know. I've got him in Touch of Evil. Get this. 2 Charlton Heston movies I have are Touch of Evil and The 10 Commandments. Isn't that a weird juxtaposition?
Well, he's great in Touch of Evil, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He's awesome.
He's not a bad Moses either. Moses.
Where's your God now, Moses? Yeah. Edward G. Robinson.
I always like Yul Brynner. Yep. Moses.
Edward G. Robinson was playing I remember him who was the director? What's his name?
DeMille.
I goes, how do I play this guy? He goes, just play him like you play one of your gangsters, Edward. Okay, see, Moses, how's your God now, Moses?
It was funny. He did his own thing.
Yep.
Robinson did his own thing, and DeMille didn't understand it, how he was playing his part, until he saw the rushes.
Right.
And now he said, oh, okay, I get it. Anyway.
I see.
I can't see playing a biblical epic on the table. No.
Well, there is a role-playing game for biblical epics. It's there's a D20. It was called
Testament.
Yes. It's how to play.
That was like a Green Ronin supplement.
Yes, how to play old school but biblical stories using
you can do that too. Oh wow. But
look at this. James is just riffing on. He's just ripping me. It's like riff tracks over here. Touch of Evil was Mike's nickname with the ladies in high school. I mean, come on. Come on.
I thought his nickname was Soylent Green because he's people.
Ooh.
It's people. But by the way, remember, we can do our own riff track so long as we grab something that is public domain.
Public domain. Planet 9 from Outer Space.
We should do that.
Robot Monster. I think Robot Monster's.
I can find something better than that.
Yeah, Robot Monster's really terrible.
There's Plan 9 from Outer Space.
There's a lot of them that MST hasn't touched.
Oh, I wouldn't even mind doing one the MST touch because I don't think they do a good job on some of those. Some of those, I think it's like, it's all right. I mean, the older ones are the best ones. The older ones are the best ones.
I like MST from second season onward.
I agree. Yeah, when they first started out, they were real rough.
They were still working on it. They're trying to get better, and they got better. They did.
They got really good, and then I think they kind of, although then it's like they used up all the best movies, and they're just kind of eh.
I mean, Riff Tracks does a pretty good. I still like Riff Tracks too. So
yeah, Riff Tracks is good.
Riff Tracks is all right, and then the Mad starting doing it. Yeah. Forrester and Frank, they started doing it. Yeah, why don't we do that, guys? Find some public domain films. Actually, I've got an idea.
Eric already suggested it. He looked him up. He's got a whole list. We need to vote on what you want to do.
There's one that I always waited for Riff Tracks to do, which is Wild Guitar.
See, we couldn't do Mazes and Monsters because that's not. We have to do public domain, but we get in trouble. We get in trouble if we do movies that are still
true,
still around. Although I don't know, Mazes and Monsters is great though. That's such a great movie.
Yeah,
such a classic.
Yeah, there's some good ones out there.
That's the science fiction list.
But we should find some public domain stuff that I got tons of public domain stuff.
Yeah, Mazes and Monsters has Tom Hanks in it. That's not going to be public domain. Sorry.
Yeah.
First one is science fiction. Second link in the chat is horror movies. There's some overlap, and they do have links to the movies online. So no need to track it down.
All right, we'll have to look. I have to check these out then.
I got tons of them.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Science fiction has a lot of the chapters.
Glenn's probably seen it all. He's seen them all.
Hardly.
Nosferatu's on there. House of the Devil. Let's see if I recognize any of these. Devil's Castle. Some of the experience. These are shit.
I would love to do, and we can't do it. The 2000 Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Frankenstein? No. Oh, yeah, Frankenstein's so old.
2000 Dungeons and Dragons with Jeremy Irons.
Teenagers from Outer Space.
That's a good one.
Outer Space, 1959.
They MST did that one.
The Hands of Orlok. Oh my gosh, I remember that one. Who was in that? Ten of the Opera. Oh yeah, there's some stuff. Follow the House of Usher.
It's done by the Mavs. It's been done by the Mavs, but I vote for Glen or Glenda.
Freaks is creepy. That's still creepy. Freaks is a creepy ass movie. It's a great movie, but it's creepy as hell. It's absolutely creepy.
The last.
Yeah, it is. It is public domain. Freaks is public domain.
It is
on this list. The Last Man on Earth, Vincent Price.
Last Man on Earth. They had the Last Woman on Earth too. Some good Corman. I mean, we could do The Terror.
Oh, Terror was
Nicholson.
I think that was Nicholson's first movie, or one of his first movies. Oh wow, they have some modern ones. Gosh, Little Shop of Horrors, the 1960s on here. Boy, I'm surprised some of these. 13 Ghosts on here.
Yeah, because they got copyrights.
Okay. You're looking at the public domain stuff. I'm looking at my.
That's the only thing you can do.
Ooh, Carnival of Souls. Oh, that's a creepy movie. That's actually a scary movie.
I like that one.
Yeah, I don't think you make fun of that movie. It's too creepy. It's too scary. It's actually a good movie.
I know Riff Tracks did House on Haunted Hill, but that would be a good one to do.
Yeah, The Terror is on here.
The Terror is like
if you never have folks don't see the remake, see the original Carnival of Souls, it will creep you the F out and you will have a problem sleeping.
I didn't know they had a remake. Sounds like some Rob Zombie.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, I think it's pretty terrible. If I heard,
remember how about these sword and sandal stuff? There's tons of on here. Oh
boy, some of these are fairly recent. Some of these are from the 70s.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe. You take something like Hercules and the Princess of Troy, Caesar the Conqueror,
The Legend of Boggy Creek. How could that be on here? That was a classic. Come on, man.
Creek too?
The Legend of Boggy Creek. Boggy Creek Monster, man. That was the South version of Bigfoot. Let's put it that way.
The Two Gladiators. Yeah.
Only two?
Ulysses against the son of Hercules.
Oh, chicka bow bow.
You know,
A
all these
bucket
all
of
these old
blood.
Italian. This is what they did before. This is what the Italians did before they got into spaghetti westerns.
They did horror. They didn't know they
Yeah,
did sandals.
Sergio Leone started on
Swords
the
and sandals,
Colossus of Rhodes,
Interesting.
and this died out, and then the spaghetti westerns took over,
Wow.
and I got those too.
All right, there's quite a list here. I'll have to go through it. Oh, there's hundreds of movies on here.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh yeah, just give
Hundreds.
us a. Hey Eric,
It's got to be really
Yeah.
bad though. If it's
how do you
not
feel
really
about
bad.
how do you feel about having a podcast or a live stream with just me and Mike talking movies?
That's fine. I'll just go with the chat. That's fine.
Oh, we could do it. We could whatever genre we could ask people what genre they want. We could even do
Oh
genres.
heck yeah, Turkish Star Wars, yes. Or no, I can't do. We can't do Star Wars Backstroke of the West.
I think so. Yeah, anything Star Wars is going to be under
Backstroke of the West would be great. It's like, what do you? What Anakin's trying to get into the Presbyterian Church?
Hey, by the way, Glenn, did you hear they're making a remake of Spaceballs, or I'm sorry, a sequel to Spaceballs?
Oh, Mel Brooks, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he's doing that Netflix with the History of the World Part 2. I think it's
Well, they're supposed to be doing this. I don't know if it's going to be a remake or if it's going to be a sequel. So they're
probably a sequel, but yeah, I heard the History of the World Part 2 thing it's pretty bad. That's what people are saying.
Well, so far they've signed up for the Spaceballs remake. Chris Hemsworth, Kate Beckinsale, Jack Black, Gary Oldman,
Wow.
Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis, the son. Will Smith. Will Smith. Oh my gosh!
Harold Ramis back. That'd be something.
This is gonna be
Children shouldn't play with dead things. I think I've seen that.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. And you know what? And they shouldn't play with dead things. They really shouldn't.
No. Anyway.
I mean, I'm absolutely 100% for children not playing with dead things.
Anyway, Glenn and Mike talk movie crap coming up. I don't know.
We'll schedule it. We'll
Soon.
pencil it in. Yeah.
Soon.
We can do that.
Yeah. And we may even relate it to role-playing games once in a while.
Let's not push our luck.
Oh, he's producing it.
Is my producer? All right. Be interesting, but we shall see.
Yeah, that's like Airplane 2. I didn't like that as much as Airplane 1.
Yeah.
Even though it had the shat in there.
It's like let's see, Police Academy 6, 5. I mean, how bad did they get in the end? You don't want to go. Still want to go down that route.
Yeah.
That one got bad quick. The Police Academy movies got real bad real quick.
So should we we're hitting the witching hour? Should we wrap it up?
I think we should.
Yeah, I think we're.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Folks, again, the link on the bottom of the screen will take you to Humble Bundle. They've got John Peterson books in the current Humble Bundle.
Ooh.
But there's also a RuneQuest bundle. There's a Pathfinder, classic Pathfinder bundle. So if you're looking to convert things to your OSR, not a bad way to do it. Help support this channel. And just as an aside, if you go to the blog side, Christmas in July.
Bye, Mike. Wow.
Christmas in July, folks. Dragonbane and The Witcher box sets. Well, PDF sets are 80% off. So, other than that, live stream tomorrow night, Gamers Health. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you.
We will be back in 2 weeks so I can listen to Eric mispronounce my name again.
Mispronounce my name again. I try hard.
I never correct you because I find it amusing. You call me Hallstrom.
I'm a New Yorker.
It's Hallstrom. That's why I find it amusing.
I'm a New Yorker. We're meant to fuck up words, okay? Listen, I go to the doctor's office. I don't even give my proper last name. My last name is Stina. I always say Stein. Even my father goes Steen. None of us actually
I thought-
use our
You say Steen. You say Steiny.
no, I don't say Steiny. Steiny, I don't say. I'm telling you that. Look,
I do. I thought you wanted me to.
Steiny with the tiny hiney. No, I don't say that. I don't say that at all. Trust me. All right, folks. Catch you all later. Be safe. Be well. God bless. Roll those dice.
Don't forget. There goes Hammer and Radio Grognard. Good night, folks.
Radio Grognard.